Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
Andrew McCart, IFLTV. I'm out here in Riyadh and I'm delighted as always to be joined by Mr. Frank Smith. Frank, no rest for the wicked. Leeds 40 hours ago, now we're back in Riyadh for another huge week, man. How are you feeling?
Good. I'm trying. The weather's mixing it up, isn't it? Leeds, it was hammering it down all the way down to Heathrow, and then it's 49 something degrees out here. So lovely. Excited for the week ahead. Great weekend in Leeds, and now out to Saudi for another big week.
I cannot wait. Frank, there's a small part of me, right? And I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but there's a small part of me that wants Hearn to lose, and I think you know why. I want to see you in a maid's outfit serving tea to Frank Warren.
Look, if that's what you want to see, I'll do that for you anyway. Like, if that's what you're into, I'll show you the picture of me in the maid's outfit that I got in the office.
Well, you know what? I might be into that, actually. You know, I might actually be into that. Yeah, a huge week ahead of yourself now. Again, I spoke to Eddie snippets about this week when I was in Leeds there last week. And when you look at this card, like I'm just looking at Hamza Shiraz and Amma Williams and all these guys, it's 50-50 up and down the card. And I said to Eddie, who's going to win this fight? What does it come down to? And he said it might come down to that last fight, Wilder versus Zhang. Is that how you see it?
I'm going 5-0, mate. I'm not listening to him. I'm going 5-0. Going through the card, like, look, brilliant fights all throughout, and 50-50 fights, like you say. You know, Hamza Shiraz against Austin Williams, a tremendous fight. The winner of that will go on to become WBC mandatory as well for the world title. Austin looks in tremendous shape. You know, it's a real fight, but I believe Austin can get the win in there. Ray Ford coming off the back of that unbelievable, you know, last round stoppage against Oktarbek Komatov.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Got it right. Nick Ball is a brilliant fight. We saw it. He deserved that win against Ray Vargas back in, when was it, March? He had that fight. He should have won that fight. But again, I think Ray Ford's going to show the levels in there on Saturday night. But it's going to be a great fight, that one. Craig Richards, I think, is one of the best in the 175 division, especially in the domestic scene. I think, you know, he's going to go and put in a great performance against Willie Hutchinson and go on to some big fights after that. You know, there's many big fights in that, you know, especially in that domestic level, for him to go and win before he moves on, you know, into the world level after that as well. Deontay Wilder, the captain, the bronze bomber. Who would have thought Deontay Wilder would be the captain of a Matchroom team v Queensbury 6 months ago? Who would have even thought I might be going to make tea in a maid's outfit at Queensbury's offices?
I think people would have predicted you wearing a maid's outfit at the Queensbury offices before they picked Wilder to team up with Matchroom. I think that might have been the case there. But this maid's outfit thing, man, oh gosh, man, that's going to be content galore if you do that.
I'm all about numbers and content, but the reality is it's not happening. The content's going to be Aileen down at the office in his butler's uniform. Down at the Maskell's office. We're going to be doing a long day that day. I think we start at 8, finish at about 11 p.m. So he's going to be making a lot of tea. But yeah, the other one we missed, Filip Hrgović against Daniel Dubois. You know, Daniel Dubois, he had a great fight, like Jarrell Miller last time out in December. You know, showed a lot of heart in there. But I think Filip Hrgović is going to show the levels on Saturday night. Like I say, I see a 5-0 win coming up. And obviously, on top of all that, my main man, Dmitry Bivol, you know, my number one fighter in the stable for me, takes on Malik Zinad. It's not the Beterbiev fight, but we'll see that at the latter part of the year. It's a real fight though against Zinad. Zinad obviously went to Australia, got the win in a final eliminator out there, you know. But yeah, a big fight for Dmitry Bivol. A lot of pressure on him because he was all, you know, focused on that Artur Beterbiev fight. But as he always does, I think he'll show the levels and it'll be a great performance from him. So stacked card top to bottom.
Cannot wait. I want to focus on the Dmitry Bivol fight. Obviously, when the boxing world heard the news of Beterbiev being injured, the disappointment, you just needed to go on social media from the boxing fans. Now, how was Dmitry Bivol when he heard the news when Beterbiev being injured?
Yeah, look, it's a fight he's waited a long time for. So, obviously, annoying, but is what it is, and he's a professional. He knows what he needs to do. He's got to go in there. Look, he had a great win against, you know, a tough fight against Lyndon Arthur. And I think the one thing is, and he's shown it, when he goes in there against the best, he just shows the levels. He showed that against Canelo Alvarez in a tremendous performance there. But he's, you know, he knows what he needs to go in there and do. There's a lot riding on this fight, but I believe, again, as he always does, he'll show the levels.
Going to the Dubois fight against Hrgović, when you look at Hrgovic's last 3 opponents, Mark Demore, lessing around, you can't really read too much into that. Dempsey McKean, subpar performance maybe in his own admission. Likewise with the Zhang fight, you have to go way back before you've seen a stellar performance from Hrgović. So what type of Hrgović are we going to expect this time, right, against the Dubois, who's last fight was 2 fights ago was Usyk, and then a great performance against Jarrell Miller. So how is Hrgovic going into this one?
He knows he needs to be the best of Daniel Dubois. Of Filip Hrgovic, because he's got Daniel Dubois who's, he's hungry. This is his opportunity, a huge opportunity for Daniel Dubois. But I think that I don't think you've seen the best of Filip Hrgovic. He obviously had tough times around the Zhile Zhang fight with his father passing away, and I don't think, like you say, the Dempsey-McKean fight didn't show the best of him, if I'm honest. And the Mark Demori fight, I don't think you can really use as one to sort of talk about, gauge his levels or quality at. But I think you're going to see the best of Filip Hrgovic this time out. He knows what he needs to do. He's obviously IBF number 1. He's been waiting for that opportunity, obviously, with the whole Undisputed playing out. But yeah, I think you'll see the best of him. And I don't disagree with you. I don't think we've seen the best of him in a while. But, the reason everyone was saying he's so good, all those years back, is because he is a brilliant fighter. And he can cause a lot of problems. And he'll do that on Saturday night.
Usyk's team now, I know the frustrations Hrgovic has had with his IBF and not getting it shot, because you mentioned the Undisputed. Now, before the Undisputed fight, there was talk of that belt becoming vacant, and then Hrgovic, if he beats Dubois, facing Joshua in September for that vacant IBF belt. So, however, Usyk's team has come out and asked for an extension with the IBF. Is that frustrating for the team?
Look, I think, obviously Anthony Joshua's ranked number 2 as well with the IBF. I think we'll have to see how the process plays out. The IBF have obviously allowed multiple delays or approvals to allow the Undisputed fight to go ahead, which I think was right for the sport. I'm not sitting there. In terms of, if you look at the overall sport, to deliver a huge Undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, I think we've waited a long time for it, and it was great to see, and a special night, and only painted the sport in a good light. So I don't disagree with them allowing that. But I think at some point, there has to be the opportunity for the fighter who's worked themselves into that position to get their shot. So I think let's see how things play out over the next few days.
Now, at the end of that fight, there's going to be that Joshua fight in September. Now, you're the man in the know. I know you're the top dog to ask on these things. For Daniel Dubois, though, as a selfish boxing fan, British boxing fans, they might be looking at it thinking, hopefully Daniel Dubois does do the job, but then we get an all-British clash at Wembley in September for the IBF world title. That's mouth-watering, isn't it?
Yeah, look, there's lots to talk about what's next for Anthony Joshua. There's been many discussions, many people have said what the plan is next, but it's not set yet. A lot of talk about Wembley, as you say, but let's see. AJ was there to watch the Usyk Fury fight. I think he'll be here this weekend as well to watch the big heavyweight fights as well on the card. So let's see how things play out. There's so many big fights to be made. I still love the Deontay Wilder fight for Anthony Joshua. I still think that's a huge fight in the sport. But let's see how the next few days play out.
Now, there's been a lot made of this Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua fight, and the landscape, this heavyweight landscape's changing every single time we come out to Riyadh. And people think that it's just a foregone conclusion with one fight, but it just seems to be everyone upsetting everybody. The landscape is changing here, there, and everywhere. Now, take your Matchroom CEO hat off, put your boxing fan hat on. How much do you want to see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua?
100%, 100%, and I believe we will see it. I believe that the reality of, I think Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury is the biggest heavyweight fight out there, regardless of results. Yeah, regardless of belts. People have called for it for a long time. Just like I just said about the Wilder fight, for example. Fights like that are huge for the sport. Forget belts, forget losses, wins. It's irrelevant. People want to see the biggest fights possible, and that is the biggest fight. I believe they can all beat each other on their best night, and that's the joy of heavyweight boxing. Let's see how things play out. There's exciting times ahead, and massive fights to be made, and I believe we'll see them.
Well, back to this card here. Your Queensberry away this weekend. Football hooliganism, we're going to bring that a little bit in there. I've seen the team Matchroom tracksuit. I've seen the team Queensberry tracksuit. They all went team Queensberry. I've seen the Everlast stuff that you've got. You've not got it on, mind you.
Because it's about 49 degrees, and whoever's wearing a tracksuit in this, I'm going to speak to the Everlast boys and say we should have really sent shorts and t-shirts, not tracksuits and hoodies.
Cotton tracksuits as well.
But I got a little Stone Island number for Saturday. We're turning up mob-handed. We're about to have it down the cobbles. If it's a draw, then me and apparently we're gonna go through the staff, Dev Sani and Jamie Ward first, and just have a few tear-ups.
Love it. That's music to my ears. I'm going to say, have you got a message for Team Warren?
Team Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget all the niceties. We're smashing you to pieces. It's 5-0. See you later.
I'll end on that, Frank. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, mate. Thank you.